Hello, today I want to tell you a story to make house chores more enjoyable. The first snowflake of November kissed Alara's cheek as she locked the door to the Midnight Weaver, a tiny forgotten yarn shop tucked between a bustling coffee chain and a vacant lot. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old wood, lavender, and possibility. Skeins of yarn in every imaginable color, from the gray of a stormy sea to the gold of a harvest moon, lined the walls, each one humming with a silent, waiting energy. Alara, a woman in her late 20s with eyes the color of twilight and hands that could mend more than just fabric, felt the familiar dread settle in her stomach. Black Friday was a week away. For other shops, it was a carnival of commerce, a lifeline. For the Midnight Weaver, it was a funeral dirge. The giant Mega-Mart 2 blocks away would bleed its red sale signs into the streets, sucking the life out of every small business in its path. Last year, Alara had sold a single ball of undyed wool on Black Friday. This year, she feared it would be none. She traced a finger along a skein of yarn the color of a deep, starless night. It was her favorite, spun from the softest merino and something else, something intangible she could never quite name. Her grandmother, the original weaver, had always said the yarn in this shop wasn't just for sweaters and scarves. "It's for mending, Alara," she'd whisper, her voice like the rustling of leaves. Mending cloth, mending hearts, mending fates. But the magic only works if the intention is pure. Alara had stopped believing in magic a long time ago. Magic didn't pay the rent. As she pulled her scarf tight, a man stumbled out of the alley beside her shop, clutching his arm. He was hunched over, his face etched with pain. Without thinking, Alara rushed forward. "Are you okay?" He flinched, his eyes wide with a feral fear. Last year, Alara had sold a single ball of undyed wool on Black Friday. This year, she feared it would be none. She traced a finger along a skein of yarn the color of a deep, starless night. It was her favorite, spun from the softest merino and something else, something intangible she could never quite name. Her grandmother, the original weaver, had always said the yarn in this shop wasn't just for sweaters and scarves. "It's for mending, Alara," she'd whisper, her voice like the rustling of leaves. Mending cloth, mending hearts, mending fates. But the magic only works if the intention is pure. Alara had stopped believing in magic a long time ago. Magic didn't pay the rent. As she pulled her scarf tight, a man stumbled out of the alley beside her shop, clutching his arm. He was hunched over, his face pale and etched with pain. Without thinking, Alara rushed forward. "Are you okay?" He flinched, his eyes wide with a feral fear. "You're taking a big risk." He was younger than she first thought, maybe early 30s, with a weary intelligence in his gaze. "I'm fine," he muttered, trying to push past her. "You're bleeding," Alara said firmly, pointing to the dark stains seeping through his worn jacket sleeve. Her instincts, honed from years of tending to broken things, took over. "Come inside, I can help." His name was Leo, and his story was a fragile, fractured thing. He was a journalist, he said, working on a story about the working conditions at the new Mega-Mart distribution center. He'd been poking around where he wasn't wanted and had been encouraged to leave by a couple of security guards with overly enthusiastic interpretations of their job descriptions. Alara cleaned the cut on his arm with antiseptic from her first aid kit. It was deep but clean. As she worked, her gaze kept drifting to his hands. They were a writer's hands, long-fingered and ink-stained, but they trembled slightly. For the first time in ages, Alara felt seen. She shared her fears about Black Friday and the shop's legacy. "A corporate monster-crushing beauty," Leo murmured, his journalist's mind igniting. "Let me help. I'll write about your shop. We'll make Black Friday work for you." A fragile hope bloomed in Alara's chest. The week passed in a whirlwind. Leo, true to his word, wrote a beautiful, poignant article. He didn't just write about a yarn shop. He wrote about a sanctuary, about legacy, about the quiet magic of creating something with your own hands in a world obsessed with mass consumption. He posted it on his blog, which had a small but dedicated following, and it was shared by local community groups. Alara, inspired, decided to lean into the shop's uniqueness. She decided to host a midnight sale on Black Friday Eve. While the world camped out in cold parking lots, her shop would be a warm haven of storytelling, hot cider, and she decided a very special offer. She went to the back room to her grandmother's old oak chest. Inside were the special skeins, yarns her grandmother had spun for specific, profound purposes. A crimson red for courage, a sunflower yellow for joy, a soft green for healing, and the starless night black for new beginnings. She would offer these, but only to those who came with a story, with a genuine need to mend something in their lives. Leo helped her string up fairy lights and move shelves. As they worked, a comfortable silence settled between them, punctuated by easy laughter. Alara found herself watching him, the way he concentrated on tying a knot, the way he smiled when he thought she wasn't looking. The hope in her chest was no longer fragile. It was a sturdy, growing thing. On Thursday evening, as they put the final touches on the display, Leo turned to her. "It's going to work, Alara. I can feel it." She believed him. Black Friday Eve arrived, cold and clear. At 10 p.m., the streets were already filling with eager shoppers heading for the big box stores. Alara's heart hammered against her ribs. What if no one came? What if it was all a beautiful, foolish dream? Then at 10:30, the bell above the door jingled. A woman stepped in, her face drawn with exhaustion. "I read the article," she said softly. I need a gift for my sister. She lost her husband last month. I don't know what to do." Alara led her to the special skeins. Her hand went immediately to the soft green of healing. "Tell me about him," Alara said gently. As the woman spoke, tears streaming down her face, Alara wound the green yarn into a ball, infusing it with the woman's love and memories. It wasn't just a transaction, it was a ceremony. The door jingled again and again. A young man came in, anxious about a job interview. Alara gave him the crimson skein for courage. An elderly couple, wanting to rekindle the spark in their marriage, left with the sunflower yellow for joy. Each person came with a crack in their life, and Alara, with her yarn and her quiet empathy, offered a thread to weave it back together. Leo moved through the crowd, refilling cider cups, listening, his presence a steady anchor. He watched Alara, her face glowing in the fairy lights, and he knew he was witnessing something extraordinary. This wasn't just a sale, it was alchemy. By midnight, the shop was buzzing with a warm, communal energy. The special skeins were almost gone. Alara felt a profound, deep-down tiredness, the kind that comes from giving pieces of your soul and having them returned to you, multiplied. As the last customer left, clutching a skein of dove-gray yarn for peace, Alara locked the door and leaned against it, exhaling a breath she felt she'd been holding for years. The shop was a mess, but it was a beautiful, prosperous mess. "We did it," Leo said, his voice full of wonder. He was counting the cash box, his eyes widening. "Alara, you've made more tonight than you probably did all last year." Tears of relief and joy welled in Alara's eyes. It wasn't just about the money. It was about validation, about community. She looked at Leo, at the man who had stumbled into her life and helped her remember who she was. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "If you liked it, please like and subscribe to the channel.